Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about a lost world and how it all relates to a king. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from a couple devoted geeks devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste, and with me is...
Dallas!
And as we already said, today we're going to be talking about Jurassic Park, The Lost World. But before we get into that, don't forget to check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, don't forget about Devoted Geek Life. We've gotten a couple new members in there recently, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you like this episode, hit the like button so we know what kind of content you guys like seeing week after week.
So, as you know, we've been doing our summer serials, and this month is Jurassic Park. Yay!
Super excited about it.
Dinosaurs! I love them! So, really quick, rough summation of Jurassic Park: A Lost World for those of you who haven't seen it, or if it's been a really, really long time since you have seen it. We're going to explain to you what happened.
Yeah.
So, basis of the story is that there is a Site B.
Oh.
Site B was more science as opposed to the park, so
Right.
not so touristy.
Right.
More of the, baby dinosaurs hatching.
And then they move them to Site A.
To Site A, where everyone can go, oh, look at the baby dinosaurs.
Oh, it's a big dinosaur.
Oh, it's a big dinosaur. Yep.
You're gonna be a big dinosaur too.
Luau!
For those of you wondering if this is an act, this is really who we are.
This is just what we do.
We're just weird.
Brownie points to whoever can identify that.
That's it. Alright, so
Okay.
So that's the summation of it.
Summation of it. So, once the park has been closed down, the company figures out that, hey, there's still money to be made in this. And they decide to go to the park to capture the dinosaurs, namely the T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Why anyone thought this was a good idea?
I don't know. It's a bad idea.
Bad idea.
Don't capture the dinosaurs.
Just love them from afar.
Like 20,000 years in the past. If you're an older
so
creationist.
Far away. So near the end of the movie, they get the T-Rex, they capture the T-Rex after having chased after the T-Rex for quite a while.
Right.
And decide that they're gonna put him on a boat and take him to San Francisco.
Good plan!
Where they've built another site.
Bad plan!
Bad plan.
All this is a bad plan.
So they take this big T-Rex.
Big dinosaur.
He's drugged. And they put him on a boat that's just roughly a little bigger than him.
It's pretty big. It's much bigger than him.
No.
Talking about the cage area?
His head popped out.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
He had to be laying down.
It's not tall. Yeah.
So, like we all, with good sense, expect to happen, things go wrong, the dinosaur wakes up, and then eats the crew.
Oh. Bad day.
Bad day. There's not enough health insurance for that.
No, alright.
Or regular insurance. How do you insure against a dinosaur?
I would say the brand that would handle it, but we're not sponsored.
Not sponsored. So the situation with the T-Rex got me thinking about us as Christians and biblical things. So, you know, like you do when you're watching a dinosaur movie.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm. And it made me think about David. King David.
King David.
Oh. King, not king.
Yeah.
He's been multiple things.
Yeah.
So.
Man with a heart after God.
Yes, and that is what we predominantly know him as. A man after God's own heart.
Right.
But David messed up.
Yeah, he did.
A lot.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
The most prominent being the whole issue with him and Bathsheba. This is a whole hot mess express going on. So, David was trying to hide his sin.
Right.
And not just even sin, but hide his desires. And by trying to hide his desires from God, the things that were not of God were what were winning out rather than the things of God in this instance.
Right.
Which led to secrecy, led to murder, led to all kinds of things that are rather adult.
Right. It was a really, really bad thing.
Watch King George and the Ducky. It's the family-friendly one.
What are you talking about?
VeggieTales.
Oh.
VeggieTales, King George and the Ducky.
I didn't watch VeggieTales growing up.
It's the story of Bathsheba, David and Bathsheba, because King George he has all these duckies.
Alright. Well, check out VeggieTales. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored at all. So like I was saying before we were talking about King George and the Ducky, these things that he was hiding from God were not necessarily sinful at first. If he had confessed them, dealt with it in an appropriate manner.
Right.
But he didn't, and it caused all these other issues.
Right.
So it's kind of like he put a big T-Rex on a small boat and sent it to San Francisco, and then it wreaked havoc with his life.
Right.
This one thing that he could have gone, hey God, I'm having this issue I need you to help me with.
Right.
He could have negated everything that happened. So I don't know about y'all or you, but I do that. Not necessarily to that level, but I sometimes have feelings where I'm like, I don't want God to know that I'm feeling like this. I don't want God to know that I'm angry at him.
Right.
I don't want him to know that I'm sad or that I don't like a situation. Not thinking about the fact that God already knows,
Right.
even if I haven't told him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how often do we do that? Do we hide our feelings from God? Hide our sins, because that is a thing too, but if we confess the anger, if we confess the sadness, confess the just feeling blah about things to God, how much better would it be?
Right.
We know that there is a healing that comes, a soothing, a peace that comes when we confess sins. You can have that same feeling of peace when you confess what you're feeling to God. And not even confess, because that makes it feel like it's something wrong. If you're angry, that's a normal human emotion. And God understands that, and he's big enough to handle it.
Yeah.
You just have to talk to him about it.
Absolutely. Just kind of let it out and let him take care of the situation. Get the old adage of let go and let God. That really is a thing. I mean, you just gotta let God handle it.
Absolutely. The important thing to remember about David, and even in your own situation, is that even with all his mess-ups, and there were a couple, this is not a singular incident, but even with all his mess-ups, he was still in the lineage of Christ, and he was still called a man after God's own heart.
Right.
He was still known as that, and how awesome is that? To be known as a man after God's own heart. I would want to be known as a man after God's own heart because I'm not a man.
Right.
I would rather be known as a woman after God's own heart. But how awesome is that to have that title, to be known in scriptures and in history as a man after God's own heart?
Right. Maybe it would definitely be one of those titles where like you'd almost feel like is too much. But that's the beauty of it, is that's what he was, a man after God's own heart, because he was broken.
Yes.
Before the Lord.
And he let out all the emotions, mostly. Everybody's human. But he let out his emotions. He cried out to God. That's how we got most of the Psalms, is him crying out to God. Yeah. And sharing these things with him.
Absolutely.
So, my challenge or thought or whatever to go with this is, when you talk to God, are you giving him a list of things you want him to do and then glossing over the parts you don't want him to know about? Or are you having an honest conversation with the person who loves you the most and created you and has a plan for you and knows what you're going through? Okay, well, that was your devotion. I hope it got you thinking as much as I have been thinking. It's kind of been like a velociraptor loose in my head.
We don't know why we do this.
We don't know. It's a thing we do. So, question of the week.
The week!
Have you ever had a T-Rex break loose in your life and wreak havoc
Are we talking metaphorically?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Metaphorical T-Rex. Metaphorical T-Rex. Loose in your life and wreak havoc when it was something that you could have handled on the front end.
Leave your comments down below. Let us know. The reason why I want you guys to leave comments and tell us these things is because your testimony can be the key to unlocking victory in somebody else's life. So, hey guys, do us a favor. Check out geekdevotions.com. We have this devotion in text format. It'll be up tomorrow, Saturday. And also, so much more there. We have articles, all kinds of cool stuff happening on geekdevotions.com. So at the moment of us recording this, we're like 3 people away from reaching 300 people as far as subscribers on this channel. If you're new to the channel, hey guys, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. Help us reach 300. If you're not new to this channel, and you've been part of this for a long time, thank you guys so much. Do us a favor, continue to share this content out. I want to encourage you guys that if this content, like this video specifically, will encourage somebody, I don't care who they are, send this video to them. Let them know that there's a God that loves them, that cares about them, and that there's a channel called Geek Devotions that's trying to let them know that. So just share the video with all your friends and family and loved ones and help us reach 300.
Okay, well that is it. Y'all have a good week. Stay devoted.
Peace and love.